But my point in telling you this is that I eventually got him to out for me just fine using the method I'm about to show you. And if this method will work in teaching a retired police canine how to out properly, it'll work for pretty well everyone else. Teaching a dog to out or let go of a toy that you're using to play tug with them is generally a very simple process. But although that process is simple, it's not always easy. But really, in my experience, there's one method in particular that I like to use that seems to work really well for all types of dogs. And really, the only prerequisite you need to have in order to use this method is that your dog has to enjoy playing tug. If your dog really doesn't like to play tug that much, then this video probably isn't for you, to be quite honest. And that's mainly because the enjoyment that dogs get out of playing tug, in my experience, is very, very genetic. It's almost completely determined by genetics. In the upcoming demo, you're going to see me work with Striker, who lives here at the kennel with us now, who is also a retired police canine. And when he first arrived here, his out was absolutely terrible. I mean, god awful. And that's pretty common for a lot of police canines. That has a lot to do with the type of dogs that are selected for that work and the way they're trained. There's a handful of reasons as to why police canine outs are generally pretty bad. But my point in telling you this is that I eventually got him to out for me just fine using the method I'm about to show you. And if this method will work in teaching a retired police canine how to out properly, it'll work for pretty well everyone else. So I'm going to quit yapping about it now. Let me just show you how it's done. All right, so the very first thing you're going to have to show the dog is not to let go, believe it or not. I find that it's much better to teach them to just bring the toy back to you first. What this does is it builds the trust you need to get them to let go of the toy completely eventually. But right now, we just want to show the dog in a very subtle way that if they bring the toy back to us, the game continues and that we're not going to take it from them. A lot of times, dogs have outing problems because they think you're going to take it, and that's going to be that. Yes, good boy. So instead of asking him to out right away, I'm just going to get him to bring the toy back to me. And what you're going to do, play tug with him. Whenever you play tug with the dog, the toy is always trying to escape their mouth. Notice how I'm always pulling away from him. I'm being gentle on him because his hind end, his hips are not as good as they used to be, so I'm being gentle with him. But the toy is always leaving his mouth. Think of like a rabbit or a squirrel or something trying to escape the mouth of the predator, right? The dog. And that's all you're doing. You're always trying to escape. Then randomly, I'm going to let go, move away from him. Now, this is what you'll likely see. Then they're going to try to take it to the ground, kind of wrap it up a little bit. Let me just fix that. There we go. Everybody, don't chase him. Don't chase him. Just keep moving. Keep circling. Don't let them take it to the ground either. Come here, buddy. Come on. Whenever they bring it in, yes, mark them. Grab that toy. Start playing tug again. Good boy. And that's it. Good boy. Randomly let go. Move away from him. Come here, buddy. Get him hyped up. Get him hyped. Good boy. Come on. Come on. Right here. Don't go reaching for it until you see them kind of commit to bringing it to you. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Yes. And start playing tug again. So this is part of why it's important that the dog enjoys the act of tugging, because the reinforcement is the game they get to play with you, the tugging that they get to play. Good boy. And then let go. Let them have it. Move away. Come here, buddy. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. And whenever they bring it to you, mark them and reward. Do that for a while. Quite a while. That can be your tug, so to speak, your tug game. Just that for like, a few days to a week probably of just getting lots of reps, lots of practice of showing the dog that if they bring the toy back to you, the game continues. From there, you can start teaching the out. And this is how you do that. Yes. Oh, good boy. Same rules. Always moving away. Maybe randomly let go, grab that lead, bring him back in. Good boy, bring here. Yes, good boy, much better. So then what you're going to do is randomly during your game, you're going to stop tugging. You're just going to stop. Take all the fun out and wait for them to let go. Don't look them in the eyes. Don't talk to them. Don't do anything. Just wait them out. The moment they let go, mark them, start the game up again. Yes, good boy. There you go. Just like that. Repeat this over and over again. So play for a little while, go back to letting go, bring them in, mix that back in there. Good boy, come on. Come on, buddy, come on. Good boy, yes. Then do it again. Stop moving, wait. Good boy, there you go. Good job, bud. And just like pretty well everything else I've shown you guys so far on this channel, all you have to do now is say your out command right before they let go to start pairing that with the action of letting go. I'm gonna wait until right before I think he's gonna let go and say it. Ouse. Yes. Good boy. Good job, bud. Good boy. Oh, good boy. Good job. Let go. Draw me. Good boy. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Yes. There you go. Maybe I'll do that again. Come on. Come on, come on. Good boy. Stop moving. Wait. Aus. Yes. Good boy. Aus is the German word for the out. English is out. German is aus. Dutch is los. So feel free to use any of those if you want. And then after a while, lots of conditioning of that, you'll say it while you're playing tug with the dog. Add their name. Striker. Aus. Yes. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Good boy. Yeah. And then be sure to mix back in that letting go of them. Draw them in. Come on, buddy. Right here. Come on. Good boy. Bring it here. Come on. Yes. Good boy. And one more time for good measure. Striker. Aus. Yes. Oh, good boy. Good boy. So there you go. Those 2 steps. Really all there is to it. And of course, I went through this really, really fast. He knows it. But this whole process from beginning to end could take a couple weeks or so. You know, sometimes faster. Just kind of depends on the dog. If you have a more possessive dog, not necessarily like a possessive aggressive way, but like possessive as in when they capture their prey, they want to hold on to it really tight. A lot of shepherds are like that. They'll hold on to it. They don't want to let go for nothing, and they'll try to run away from you. You may have a lot more difficult time, or it's going to take more time to get them to trust to bring it back to you because you're kind of working against their instincts there. Whereas if you have another dog like a retriever breed that likes to tug, a lot of retrievers don't like to tug, but I've known a few, and it can be quite a bit easier to teach them to let go and bring it back to you because they're a retriever, right? That's what they were bred to do. Go get something, bring it back to you. They're a lot more naturally willing to do that. So it'll depend on your dog how long this takes. But in a nutshell, it's a really simple 2-step process. Have the dog on a long line, put them on a harness or collar. I recommend a harness typically, unless your dog has really good leash sensitivity skills. Then you can use the collar. Make sure, one, your dog likes to tug. If they like to tug, it's great. You can move on to the next step, which is just teach them that bringing the toy back to you keeps the game going. Use the line not to reel them in. You're not reeling them in. You're just keeping them from completely bailing on you. And you're constantly moving away from the dog, and you're trying to draw them in with your voice, clapping your hands, something like that. You're just trying to get the dog to bring the toy back to you and punch it into you, or at least commit to bringing it to you. Once they understand that and you trust that they're not going to run off with it, you don't really need the long line anymore. It's just something to get that going. Once that's really well established, then you can start creating the behavior of letting go of the toy, which is when you just hold completely still. Play for a while, maybe do that, let it go, bring it back for a few times, and then just stop playing. One thing I don't think I mentioned in the recording there was that whenever you stop moving, you want to take all the slack and all the fun out of the toy. So if they're still pulling on it and that toy's got a lot of play, it's moving quite a bit, even though you're holding still, they could likely be reinforcing themselves on that, I should say. So what you may have to do is bring your hands closer together, brace it against your body somehow, and take all the slack and all the fun out of it. That's what's teaching them that it's not worth their while to do that. But if there's some play and there's some slack in there and they're getting some enjoyment out of it, then they're going to continue to do it. They're like, yeah, go hold that steady for me while I pull on it, right? So you're just going to take all the slack out of the toy and make it as not fun as possible. At that point, it could be quite of a war of attrition, depending on the dog. It could take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes longer. But once you're locked into that war of attrition, commit to it. So if you need to pull up a chair and sit down and hold on to that toy, do it. You know, it's important that you don't allow them to win, because then you'll really start creating a monster that won't let go for nothing. They'll just stay committed. You're going to make them even more bullheaded doing that, because they know if I do this long enough, you'll fold, and that's a bad spot to be in. Once you've committed to the war of attrition, stay in there. The moment the dog lets go of the tug toy, mark them, move away from them, pull the toy away from them, have them chase the toy. They bite the toy, you start playing again, and repeat the process over and over and over and over again. Don't worry about saying your out command yet. Just get the game, the behaviors of bringing the toy back and letting go when you stop moving. Work back and forth with that for a little while, a few days or so. Once that's really well established, then start to time their release of the toy with the word you want to pair to it. And there you go. Repeat it over and over and over again until eventually you feel like you can test it out, and you'll say your out command while you're still playing tug, and then mark and reward them if they do. So there you go, guys. It's a simple way to do it. Hope it was helpful. Good luck with it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. I'll see you on the next video.